After an unprecedented summer of spending, the pressure is really on for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal. On deadline day, the Gunners completed the signing of Piero Hincapié from Bayer Leverkusen, the Ecuadorian arriving in North London on a season-long loan, but with a £45 million obligation to buy. He becomes the Gunners' 8th new recruit of the summer, following Victor Gyökeres, Martin Zubimendi, Christian Norgard, Noni Madueke, Christian Mosquera, Kepa Arrizabalaga, and, most excitingly of all, Eberechi. Around £300 million has been spent on these new recruits, while very little was recouped by the departures of Nuno Tavares, Marquinhos, Albert Sambi Lokonga, Rice Nelson, Fabio Vieira, and Oleksandr Zinchenko. Despite the big money spent, this is a squad built around a foundation of Hale and graduates, namely Miles Lewis-Skelly, Ethan Nwaneri, Bukayo Saka, 15-year-old wonderkid Max Dowman, and of course the returning Ease. However, did they let the best Hale End kid leave when he was just 9 years old? One that surely would have fired the Gunners to that elusive Premier League title had he stayed? Ease made his Arsenal debut during Sunday's disappointing defeat at Anfield, introduced in the 70th minute to replace Gabriel Martinelli. If the Gunners are going to wrestle the Premier League title away from the Reds, they're going to need to become more creative in the final third, as the table below documents. Two caveats first and foremost. We're only 3 games into this Premier League season, so that offers a very small sample size. But on the flip side, Arsenal did demolish Leeds 5-0 last weekend, potentially actually skewing their data in a positive sense. Those aside, it has to be a concern that the Gunners rank 16th for both big chances created and passes into the final third so far this season, rarely threatening at Old Trafford or Anfield in open play. Thus, Arteta will hope the arrival of Ease will solve their creativity issues, and it was genuinely spine-tingling to be present when he was presented to the crowd last weekend, a completely surreal moment for the player, while the reaction of the supporters was like nothing else the Emirates has ever witnessed. Thierry Henry's return, also against Leeds, coming closest. Ease himself has spoken about the fact that, when he was released by Arsenal at the age of 13, he thought his dream was over, but after spending time at Fulham, Reading, Millwall, Wickham, QPR, and Palace, he's finally home. However, there is another former Hale End kid currently plying his trade at the highest level of world football, someone you may have heard of. Famously, Tottenham supporters sing Harry Kane, he's one of our own, which is very much true. There's no denying that, but that wasn't always the case. During the 2001-02 season, when Kane was just 8 years old, he spent a year in Arsenal's academy, but was released, within academy director Liam Brady later admitting that he was deemed a bit chubby and not very athletic. Well, he would certainly prove them wrong, joining Tottenham in 2004, starting a 19-year association with Spurs, scoring 280 goals in 435 appearances for their first team, breaking Jimmy Greaves' all-time goals record by netting against Manchester City a couple of months before his departure. Then Spurs boss Ange Postecoglou labeled him an irreplaceable generational talent, while another former Tottenham manager, Antonio Conte, simply described him as a world-class striker. Now, with Bayern Munich, of course, a move to Bavaria has not stopped Kane from continuing his scoring spree against Arsenal, converting a penalty in North London as they dumped Arsenal out of the Champions League back in April 2024. That was his 15th career goal against Arsenal, only on target against Leicester, 20, and Everton, 16, with greater frequency. As one might expect, Kane has started the new season on fire, scoring 6 goals in 4 appearances, most notably bagging a hat-trick as Die Rekordmeister demolished RB Leipzig 6-0 on the opening Friday night of the season. This takes his tally to 91 goals in 100 appearances for Bayern, averaging a goal every 91 minutes, which isn't bad. As a result, despite the fact he's now 32 years old, Kane's estimated transfer value remains £65 million, compared to Ease's, which stands at £48 million, also higher than the £60 million the Gunners paid to secure his signature. Tottenham supporters were not happy a fortnight ago when Ease did a last-minute U-turn, snubbing them to join their hated North London rivals. So, could you imagine if, once he's finished hoovering up multiple Meisterschale in Munich, Kane returned to the club with whom he began his academy career.